really want to make just another piece of content, or content that converts your ideal client into a paying customer? In this video, we're going to look at how you can create content that converts your ideal client into a paying customer. We will look at how is content that converts different to content in general. What is content that converts? And how do you create content that converts for your own business? If you see something that helps you today, then please make sure to like this video so it spreads the message and this video can help others too. Subscribe to get more content like this that helps you grow your business with more leads, sales and authority from social media, and hit the bell to be notified about new videos every Tuesday. Hey, I'm Karen, and when I discovered how to create a content strategy that allowed me to create content that converts, I was all over it. And now I share it with others because in this world, there's room for everyone's success. If you're ready to change from content from social media to content that converts, then let's jump in. Online business owners are trying to use social media to sell, but when they put a direct sale post out, very little seems to happen, especially if you're starting out or have a small audience. And often they think it's because individual posts are going to sell for them rather than thinking about the journey that their customer is going on with their content. And I know people are telling you to sell in the DMs right now and you're just following the best guidance that you have. But consider what happens when your potential client receives a DM when they liked your post. I suppose it depends on the actual DM, but personally my automatic reaction is I'm not interested. I want to know what somebody's about before they start offering me things. What about you? How do you feel when you get a message in the DMs from someone that you don't know? And part of me thinks, well, it must work for someone because otherwise, why would so many people be doing it? I was even told by my very first paid coach to do this. And when I found people unresponsive, I decided to take action and work out how I could find people who were genuinely interested in what I had to offer through social media. In my research, I found out about funnels and how you can work out how interested a customer is in your product or service from how far into the funnel your customer is. So let's just back up a second and touch on funnels because it's a word we use a lot in regards to online business, but let's make sure that we're all talking about the same thing. So if a client sees you on social media and likes a post, we would say that they are top of funnel. They're entering your funnel. They've expressed an interest and are interested in what you have to say. They may like a post and move on, or they may follow you. Now, before someone follows you, there's a few ways of them discovering you. On Explore pages, hashtags, recommendations, in the search results. But once they're following you or subscribed to you, then more avenues of communication open up. So on Instagram, they now have access to your stories and they would be notified when you go live. On YouTube, they get access to your community page. And this is what we mean about moving them through your funnel. They're moving to the next level of communication and expressing interest in what you do and what you have to say. So they may see a story where you invite them to a free challenge or download a free PDF, and then they're on your email list, which means that they're very interested in you. And now you have lines of communication through email. And this may be the middle of your funnel, but it'll be different for everyone. You may even get them to join a free group for your challenge or invite them to a webinar about a topic of interest where you pitch your product or service at the end. And this is where the client is at the bottom of the funnel, deciding if they actually want your service or product. And what I figured out was in order to help people discover your service or your product without being pushy or salesy, you have to speak to them at each stage of this funnel in the way that suits where they are. Is there much point in me putting an invite to my webinar on a post with hashtags on and nowhere else when I've got my mailing list full of people I've not invited? The people on my mailing list are going to be much more interested in the webinar about the topic they've opted in for previously than people who I've never met before. So rather than focusing on the impact of just one piece of content, we need to think about how we're putting that content out, what message we need to communicate best to help these potential clients move on and get them unstuck from whatever problem that they're in. So how do you get more leads and sales from social media? Well, you think about how you market to the people at different stages of your funnel using different social media methods. Because when you post individual pieces of content designed to sell, people pass it by. They don't know enough about you and what you do to show an interest. People need to know, like and trust us in order to part with their money. Know us, like us and trust us to deliver on our promises. And how can they know they can trust us? When they trust us to deliver on other promises and we keep those promises, we prove that trust. So if you're offering the PDF to help with a certain outcome, they download it and that helps them achieve it, then that's great. That's going to help build confidence in you. If you offer a free experience that delivers on the promise you've made, made, then they'll begin to trust that you fulfill on those promises. So if you want to sell easily to your clients and turn likes into leads and sales, then you need to think more about a funnel marketing strategy and a content strategy that allows you to produce content that converts. Let me know if this kind of funnel marketing strategy is new to you below in the comments. So what is content that converts? Content that converts is not just one piece of content. In order to produce the content that is best for the client at the different stages of the funnel, we need to consider 4 elements when we create a piece of content. Who is the content for? Meredith Hill said, when we speak to everyone, we speak to no one. We need to know who we're speaking to. And are they new to us? Is this the first time that they've seen any content from us? Or are they already on our mailing list and they have everything we've ever created? Most people think they need to think about an overarching ideal client, but your ideal client's awareness of their problem and of you is changing, or at least it should be as they move through your funnel. And if you're underestimating where they are when you're talking to them, your content isn't going to resonate with them. In fact, it could make them unsubscribe or unfollow. But I know this is a strong belief in the world of online marketing, so we get stuck in this trap really easily. And if it were true, we wouldn't have a problem with our content landing with our ideal client, but you're here, so once we know who our ideal customer is, we need to speak to them in the right message. And this is about meeting them where they are. If we originally found they had a problem and we give them a PDF that helps them with step 1 of how to fix that problem, and then in our nurture emails later, we are talking to them as if they've never had that information in our PDF, then are they going to think we can help, or are we just going to sound like a stuck, broken record? Don't we want them to be interested in us, more and more interested in us, our products, our services, and our message as we move them along? Our message needs to move along with us. Have you ever been on one of those email lists where you're like, how did I end up in here? I am not interested in anything this person has to say. We don't want our clients to feel like that on our mailing list. And if we don't get our message right to suit them and where they are, that's what's going to happen. We also need to consider the time and the way in which we communicate that message to our ideal client. There's no point putting the message designed for someone who came to our masterclass in our Instagram feed. They're not going to see it. The way we communicate with our ideal clients needs to be considered and really thoughtful. When you consider how, when, where, and why you are communicating with this person, when you actually write that content, you design the content that intends for them to move along from one stage to the next naturally. You help them uncover the answer to their problem, and your ideal client is converting into a customer. You become able to let your content do the work for you. So you've got a choice. You can keep thinking of your ideal client as a person in one particular state, or you consider your ideal client to be moving through your funnel and address that person's needs, desires, and objections directly for that stage that they're in. When you think of your client's progress through each stage of your funnel as a journey, then you can map out what this looks like for your client. So many online entrepreneurs get lost in the how to make a sale part that they don't consider that process that customers go on to get to that point. So the way I'm going to show our funnel is as a timeline, and I want you to draw this out on a piece of paper with me. So at the beginning, we've just got our ideal client in their initial state that they're in, their problem, whatever that problem is. And then the end of our funnel is kind of where they make that decision of whether they're going to buy or not buy. So at the end of here, they have this decision of making a yes or a no. And then along this journey, you might have a freebie, maybe. You might have a training, paid, low paid, free, whatever. You might have a webinar that you invite them to at the end of your training, where you actually tell them about your product and what you do. And then you might have like a series of emails that go out, and you've probably got a sales page where you make them an offer, right? And that leads to them making this decision here at the end. So at each stage of this, what you're thinking about is, who is this ideal client? Where are they and what are they doing? Where can I find them? And then what do I need to say to them to move them from here to here? What do I need to show them or help them understand in order to move from there to there? And then this is the part, I think everybody kind of gets this initial stage, but the bit that they miss is, okay, I figured out where my ideal client was now, but now where are they? Well,
actually you've just fixed the first part of their problem, hopefully, with your freebie. So this stage is very different to this stage because you've actually fixed something for them here. So these people are a bit different to these people. They're in a different situation now, and their problem might have shifted a little bit for them. So then we have to do the same thing again. Where are they? What are they doing? What is the issue that they're having? And how can we move them along and show them how we can help them in our training? And then again, they've gone from here to now here. And at each point, they're getting a little bit closer. But at each stage, they're understanding how we help them. And then by the time you get to here and they're like in your webinar and you're actually saying to them, look, I've helped you do this, I've helped you do this. And now if you want to get this big, super big transformation, then you can join my program and I'm going to help you do that. And then we kind of present that to them. But can you imagine if you do this big presentation of how I can help you here? Guys, they don't know you, they don't like you, and they certainly don't trust you. But when you've for free given them some help, and then maybe they've paid for something that's given them even more help and had a bigger win, then they're more inclined to actually choose yes here, right? So if you can consider where they are at each stage and what they need to hear in order to move them on to the next stage, then your messaging is going to improve, rather than thinking all the time, my ideal client is this person here. No, that person is changing, they're developing, and they are growing because you're helping them to grow as you move them along each of these stages.
So make a map of your own customer's journey and consider the intention of content at each stage of your funnel and how you can motivate your ideal client at that point to take action and move to the next stage. But be aware that each stage should be helping them solve the problem that they have and giving them the early first steps they need to solve the overall problem that they have. If your experiences, and by that I mean webinars, challenges, trainings, freebies, if they're not aligned with the problem that you solve, then you may want to rethink the journey that you're taking your ideal client on. If you want content that converts, you need to create a content strategy. You need to consider the content you produce at each stage of your funnel and map out that customer journey and think about what message your ideal client needs to hear at that stage, where they are and when they need to hear it. In the Content Mapping Method Program, Module 1, we create an in-depth, thorough content plan with objectives. So you are clear on what to say, to who, where and when. So you can just look at that plan and know exactly what you want to say. If you want to find out when the doors are next open, the link is below to join the waiting list. If this has been helpful for you, and I so hope it has been, then make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to get more content, to get you more leads, sales and authority from content while saving time, and hit the bell to be notified about new videos every Tuesday, and go and check out these other videos that can help you too.